disclaimer before we get on with the episode. This is an all-boys episode, so it went about as well as you would expect. We are disgusting, so keep that in mind as you get into this. This will be a little bit more of an explicit episode. Thank you.
Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Sincerely Strangers. We have an all-boys episode today, so it's me and Jay today. And then we also have two special guests. We have Sean, the returning champion of taking L's.
Hi.
And we have a new guest today. We actually have Justin.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Period. Okay.
All right. So Jay's got some topics for us to go about, and we talked about it before, and we realized we have a lot to talk about.
It's a lot. There's so much stuff that happened. Okay, let me start off with the boys' locker room.
War zone.
You definitely.
That's a battleground.
You walk past the
That's
door
where
and
boys
then
become
literally
Just attacked from all senses.
it's battles. You have to learn to dodge very quickly. Like I remember like my first week in like middle school PE, I remember somebody chucked their shoe and it like narrowly missed my face, and I was like, oh, this is getting serious now.
Literally.
And it became like a daily occurrence. It became like a daily thing where like somebody would throw their clothes over for no reason.
Right.
There would be like somebody throwing like at our middle school, they had like the fruit cups that they had with like hella liquid in them, and just chuck it as hard as they could over all the lockers. It would just splat against the wall.
Yeah.
I remember somebody threw a shoe and it hit my locker, like hit it hard enough to close it, like directly in front of my face. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
There's so much. Like,
No. Oh my. Okay, so my friend like told this story that like whatever happened in the boys' locker room, I wasn't in it because I wasn't in the same period, but this was high school, right? And there was like these two boys. They were in the middle of the aisle, so like there were lockers like surrounding them, and apparently someone took a video of them jacking off together. And I was like, bro, this is not real.
Yo.
You
You never got up
do
to
that
that.
in the boys' locker room.
They were
man.
they were watching. The whole crowd was watching. I was like, what is going on?
Wait, no shame.
Were they just like staring, or were they like cheering them on? Like, yeah, go. Was it like a Beyblade competition?
I
or
don't know.
something?
I didn't watch the video, but the video is there.
Were the two
Were they
guys like
playing
locked
cookie
eyes? Were they doing it like to each other? Or was it like a thing that they both happened to be doing?
Were they playing like Dick Chicken or something, where like the first person to net is gay? Is that what they were doing?
Really? I didn't know. That's a
What?
game?
I don't. That's there's multiple. There's like a game that I read about like Urban Dictionary in like 7th grade and never forgotten. It's called Gookie Cookie.
Oh.
I've told Sean about this multiple times, and Cookie Cookie is essentially this. By the way, NSW warning: this is going to be a foul episode.
It
This is going to be foul.
So gross.
Disclaimer.
We should probably put that in the description. But Cookie Cookie is essentially a game where a bunch of dudes get around a cookie and they stand in a circle and they all jack off to the cookie, and the last person to nut on the cookie has to eat the cookie.
You
That
gotta
is
cut
so
that out.
And
You gotta cut
it
that
has
out.
stuck with me ever since.
Dude, that's
It's
nasty.
Such
What the
a
heck?
horrid
gross.
idea. It's such a foul thing to do. It's such a horrible thing to do.
It is.
The
Can
name
I-
stuck with me.
I got one more question about the our two friends in the locker room. What decisions lead you to
Let's
that
get back to
moment?
that.
I don't
What
know.
like is that a planned thing that they were like, all right, today we're gonna jack off together? Or was it like we both happened to do it at the same time, let's just keep going? Or was it just like a power thing? And like they both wanted to do it and like needed the territory.
I
And that
don't
was like
know.
their way of like showing it.
I don't. Oh,
I'm
the thing
thinking-
is, like, they did it, and like, they did it in front of like, so our locker room is like connected to the teacher's like face, and they did it in front of the window
Oh,
where the
no.
teachers could see it. And I was like, did the teachers not see them?
They have to just ignore it. Like at that point, you just don't want to deal with it.
they were just like, boys will be boys.
Literally.
Walk away.
I was like, oh my,
Bro, is that what they mean when they say
Does
that?
it?
For the
Is it like
boys?
an art?
what?
Oh.
Damn.
Oh god. How do you, wait? What if they were like talking about like jacking off, and they were like, "I bet you would nut quicker than I would." They're
No,
like, you
I'm
will
not-
bet, and they like got into an argument about it, or like, what? How do you get there? How do you
I'm-
get there?
I'm not
so
even gonna
confused.
question it. I'm not even questioning.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm so lost. I don't know how that happens. Let's clarify. That did not happen at me in Sean's school. That's not a common boys' locker room thing. That's
Yeah,
just
no.
you. That's just you.
There's
Yeah.
in middle school, one of my friends who will remain nameless, he decided it would be funny to take an apple and so on the lockers there's like these air vents, right? So like at the front of the locker, and he took an apple and just grinded it into the air vent on the locker. This is some
Oh.
random kid's locker. He does not know who this person is. He
Bro.
grinds it to like the bone against this locker and then just leaves laughing. And it's like the most evil thing I've seen a man do.
That's so
There's
funny.
no reason for that.
Do you remember the trash locker?
Dude, do you remember the
No, I'm
soup?
not okay. Oh no, there were multiple instances of the soup. There
Should
were-
I tell the soup story?
Tell the soup story. Absolutely.
That same grade and that same period with that person and a bunch of other people, they decided it would be funny to put a bowl of food in a locker that was empty. They just put it in there and then progressively just added stuff to it every day, like milk or like juice or just like spit, anything.
Oh my god.
And so this bowl of like rotten chicken and milk and shit was just in a locker for like 4 months.
Oh
And
my.
it
Ew.
stayed there. And they would add stuff every day. And just opening the locker would just release this stench. So like they would open it and then like cover up and then put stuff in it and then close it.
Damn.
And I still remember what it looked like. And it's so gross. One day
Damn.
we came to class and it was gone and the whole locker was like cleaned out. And the janitor came up to us and he was like, "Do you know who did that?" And we were like, "No, we don't." And he's like, "It was disgusting." And we were like, "That's rough, sorry."
That's crazy.
And even if you open the clean locker, it still smelled like that. Like you couldn't
my
get it out. It was
It's
so
stained
gross.
forever. It's like Chernobyl. It's
Oh,
radioactive.
it was so
Yeah, cursed
disgusting.
locker, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my
Whoever
god.
gets
that's-
that in the future, listen to
I feel
Oh,
bad. for
imagine
that.
getting that locker. No.
You just open your locker by luck. You had nothing to do with it. It just
What the-
smells like liquid ass in there. Like it
Yeah,
It was
smells
actually.
worse, dude. It
terrible.
was worse than that.
Dude. Wait, Sean, do you remember the trash locker?
I think it
There
was,
was,
a
like, an
similar
em-
situation.
It was a similar situation where there was an empty locker and people just put random shit in there, not even like food, just like anything they could find. Like, it was weird shit. And it just got stuffed in I don't remember if it had a lock or not, but I remember like people stuffing like gum wrappers through the air vents and like blocking it up and shit and like having to push it through. It was so terrible and disgusting, but it was hilarious at the same time. Why? I don't get why middle school boys, why it was so funny to just put like random like trash or food together
Yeah.
and just make something terrible. I don't know why that was so
No
funny,
idea.
but it was so classic.
It was. I don't know. That's the worst thing that happened in my experience in like the boys' locker room was like they assigned us lockers and I got so there's 3 levels, the highest and then the middle and then the lowest. I got assigned the lowest and like I was like whenever we change, I was like trapped between like a shit ton of guys and I'm like, this is not right. I'm like the tall person
Mhm.
and like I gotta awkwardly like get my clothes and like open the door or some shit. But like one time there was this actually no, never mind. Wait, I'll probably say there was shit in like the floor on the floor. And
Under
I
the
was like,
floor.
who did this?
Right outside your
All
locker.
right, guys.
No,
straight
it
up
wasn't. It
there.
wasn't. It was just randomly in
All
like
right,
the
guys.
floor.
Which of you's up to this? Which of you? All right, come on, fess up. Which of you poo-pooed on the floor?
That's the problem. And there would be pee
Oh.
on the floor too, and like something wet. And I'm like, this
Bruh.
is not right.
There was always random liquids. I'm like, what is this? I don't know what it is, but I'm really scared.
You can't tell.
And I don't want to step in it.
Both of my locker rooms I've been to in middle school and high school, the
looks like-
floor is like some red color or something. And so
Yeah.
like even if it was like water, apple juice, it all looked the same on the floor.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, we had white floors. So was it white? I think it was. It
I
was a
don't
bright
remember.
color. I think it was something
Yeah.
like white or beige. I don't remember. But like you could tell that there was liquid there, but you still couldn't really make out what it was. So I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm just gonna avoid that. I think high
Oh,
school locker
I
rooms
remember-
went from like
sorry, go
being
ahead, go
being a war. Oh yeah, no, you go ahead. I was gonna go
Okay.
into a different different.
Yeah, I was gonna go to a
section.
different story
You go ahead.
too. But okay, so I remember
Oh.
one time in middle school, this kid had a bunch of donuts that he brought to school, like a 12-pack or some shit. And he was like giving it to a teacher for a class or something, and he left it in the locker room, and they all got eaten because, of course, they did. If you leave a dozen donuts in a locker room, they're gonna get eaten. And then the kid came back, and he was just crying. He was like so sad about it. And I was like, I didn't know. I didn't want to go up and be like, dude, that was gonna happen. Like, he left it in the open. He just left it on the bench. Like
On the
on the bench. Like not what's
Come
gonna happen.
on, dude.
Man,
Okay. No.
What did
Mistake
you
right
expect?
there, dude.
What did you expect?
like come on. I was disappointed.
They probably
You can't
fucked
you
the
can't
donuts.
leave nothing in these locker rooms. That's why you
No.
gotta put it in your
It
locker.
gets stolen.
Can't do it with
Remember-
donuts though,
Wait.
right?
Dawn, do you remember when somebody was like breaking into lockers? And like there was like that big
Kinda.
thing where like people just kept breaking into like lockers and stealing phones. It's like, what are you gonna do with that? They're all locked. What are you gonna do with it?
One time, those same people from the soup incident, I don't know if they got into my locker or how they got it, but they took my phone and they started a video and then put it in a different locker and then just left it for like 2 hours. Or it was blocked, so it was like 2 hours. They just left it in there for like an entire day or entire class. And then I came back in and it was just like an hour long video on my phone. And I was like, thanks guys. That's so nice of you.
So-
All these locker room stories, I'm hearing people putting stuff through your air vent. I'm so glad it didn't happen to me. I got lucky.
That's-
in
That's
my
so
life.
lucky.
I
Yeah.
narrowly
So
avoided it.
lucky.
So happy. The only thing that happened to me specifically that I was like, what the fuck are you doing? This was the first week of like 7th or 8th grade, I don't remember, but like this kid next to me, he looked like a ghost. He looked like somebody who died in the 18th century and like wore like long coats for no reason. And he was next to me and I was like, I'm already uncomfortable because of like your appearance. You look scary. And
Oh, bro.
then randomly out of nowhere, I don't know why he did this. I think he thought that his backpack was mine, but he locked it to his locker. He like sealed the lock, like the strap at the top. He like sealed. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, this is my backpack. This is my backpack. I'm like, do you want me to go through it and show you all my shit with my name on it? Like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, no, it's mine. And I literally went through individually. I'm like, oh, look at this history homework. It's mine. Look at this lunch. I packed it this morning. Oh, look at this water bottle. It's mine. And he's like, oh, okay. And he like unlocks. I'm like, dude, what? Your backpack is
Bruh.
literally right there on the bench. Why do you do this to me?
Did it even look like yours?
And like, I think, not really. Not really. It had like a different like bottom. Like it had like, it was like one of those JanSports, and where like mine are like the leather bottom, and his didn't. His was just like straight up black. And I was like,
Oh.
dude, at the end of the day, like even if they look similar, like it has like a water bottle outside of it that he just does not have. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What is your major malfunction, dude? What's your problem? And I think he moved lockers like 2 days later because I kept giving him dirty looks because he kept looking at me. And I'm like, stop looking at me, dude. What is your deal? What you got a staring problem for, man? And then he moved lockers like the day before the orange incident where like people were like throwing oranges over, and I think he definitely would have gotten hit by them. I can tell he would have gotten hit by them. He would not know how to dodge.
Oh, fuck.
But-
I remember one. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was gonna. You go ahead. I know this is good.
Well, okay. So another thing is, since I was in baseball, also there's baseball locker room stories,
Oh no.
which
Oh,
are
no,
also
no.
very bad.
Oh no.
So freshman
Oh,
year,
no.
I was in the locker room, and these two kids, again, not gonna name them, hated each other. Like they hated each other, but they were friends. Like, it was this weird joke they had where they would just like beat each other up, and
Oh.
like they would just like fight a lot. And like one time I don't even remember why this happened, but I was on like one end of the locker room, right? I was way over here, and I just hear the loudest banging like you could imagine. And I'm like metal on metal, and I'm like, what is happening? So I go to look at what is happening, and it's this big. So this kid is like, he's a freshman, but like he's big for a freshman.
Hmm.
Big dude, just slamming a bat against the locker, just beating the hell out of this locker with a bat, like pissed. Like he looks like in like a caveman rage. And we're like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like telling us that the guy pissed him off or whatever. And then like he leaves, and there's dents. Like there's a full dent in the locker,
What the
and
fuck?
it's still there because he dented it so bad. And then like later that year, these kids are fighting again, and one of them kicks his phone across the locker room into the showers because they just were pissed at him for some reason. And then, like,
Is that you?
And then they picked it up, and he was like yelling at him and stuff. And like then they would just like be friends afterwards. It was so weird.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh my bad.
it was the oddest. There's other stories I can't even tell on here, but there's some nightmares in that locker room.
Oh no. Yeah, there's some things that
Yeah,
I've
I
heard
can't.
stories that should not be told
Yeah,
on a public
I can't
podcast.
tell that one. Yeah,
I feel
Can
like
I-
I've.
Should I tell more high school locker room stories because they got more intense. They weren't like dodging; they were more just like random, cohesive. Like as a unit, we would all do something fucking stupid. Like I don't
What's wrong
know
with y'all's high
why.
school?
I don't know why we did it, but in our high school in like freshman year, I think it was. We all like were because before we go into the locker room, it's locked during class, so they have to unlock it. And as we're waiting for the teachers, one of the boys notices that there's a spider on the wall, and like he kind of plays it up for like dramatic effect. He's like screaming, he's like "Ah!" like screaming, and as we're all cheering, like get it, as like one kid's jumping up in the chute trying to like beat the hell out of it, and he's missing every time. We're like get it, go, and it's like screaming, and he finally gets it, and he's like looking around bloodthirsty. He's like, who's next? And we're like like screaming as if to get another one, and there's another spider in the corner, and he like chucks his shoe, and it just mercilessly crushes it in one blow, and I'm like, yo, this
Damn.
man's an assassin. Like, and then the teacher came and was like, yo, settle down, like we're just killing spiders. But that was like a daily occurrence. Like something would always happen.
yeah.
Like we would just randomly start clapping for the teachers as they came in. We'd just start like very enthusiastic, like cheering and like clapping hell a lot.
What the fuck?
I deserve that, man.
I feel
They go through a lot with that.
For me, middle school was the most chaotic in the locker room. It wasn't high school because like I had like chill people in my class. They were just kind of weird,
Hmm.
but it was just middle school where like the boys would moan. Like that was the joke. That was it.
Yeah,
I think I had that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
and like you can't go a day without hearing one. So
Oh yeah.
it was
Possible,
like
yeah.
it was in a
And it was always like the loud anime girl ones too that like basically like, okay, what are we doing here, guys? Let's
Well, I had PE freshman year. I had PE first period, so it's like 7 in the morning, and it's like I don't want to deal with this weird stuff that's happening. Like just tone it down. Like
Yeah.
In 8th grade, I had like what we had zero period,
period.
which was going at like 6 a.m. because I wanted to take like Spanish and another elective, but
Mhm.
I went in at 6 a.m. and it was still just as I'm like, dude, it's 7 in the morning. Can we not do this right now? Like, please. Think of what we should tell because there's a lot. There's a lot.
I got one. But
Oh, you go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I was just like the soup year was 6. We had 6 periods, so our last period. So everyone was just like hyped up. So we were all like insane because we had gone through the entire day. So we all just like got out like whatever like energy we had, just like doing the dumbest things possible. Like this doesn't count as a locker room story, but like in that class, we like there was like a shop. Some days when the teachers didn't want to teach PE, they would just like give us a shopping cart full of like balls and stuff.
Yes.
So like we would like get in the shopping cart and like push it around and like do that. And then this one kid that we didn't like, he wanted to get in the shopping cart. So we're like, all right, sure, he got it. We pushed him and just didn't get him. Like
Damn.
like we pushed it really hard. It just like straight into like a fence and we just didn't get him.
That's ruthless as
This kid was an ass. Also, that kid threw rocks at kids.
Oh,
And he,
he
made a
deserved
girl
it.
cry. Yeah.
He deserved it.
And then also that year, like we got a jump rope and basketballs, and we tied them between 2 poles and made a slingshot. Like that class was not sane. It was amazing.
I remember we can kind of expand it to just like PE stories in general because there's a lot of those too.
there is a lot.
I think in our high school PE class, there was a lot that I could go into, but I think one of them is that these 2 kids that I was friends with, one of them was like really close, and one of them was on the football team. The other one did like martial arts, and they would just like find any excuse they could get to fight. Like they would not even like in an angry way. They would just like fight, be like, "Yo, dude, I want to see if we can win. I want to see if we can win today," and they would fight like every other day. And like one time, I don't remember when they did it, but they like one of them got slammed into a window, and it like I'm pretty sure like cracked the window or something. They got like slammed hell hard to the window. And we're like, how does the thought come into your head? Just like, oh yeah, we're kind of sparring right now. Let me shove you into a window. And they fought like easily like 6 times a month, like easily, like at least once a week, if not more. Like it was always fun to watch. Be like, oh, this one kid's faster, but like the other one, he's got strength. He gets enough hits on you, he's done for. Like, we were like, yo, we should have like prize fighting, but then that's also like kind of illegal. So like, yeah, no, let's not do that. But it would have been dope.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever have that like one weird kid who had some like weird superpower, or like whenever they do something in PE, it was just like, why do they have that ability? Like, why can they run so fast?
Oh,
Like
like
they
actual superpowers? I think
No,
like, maybe they
no, like
believe
just
they have
Motherfuckers just
superpowers.
fly.
no, like they can like
Again,
run
that's
hella
just
fast, or like what is that? The state like the push-up test. They do like 100 of those. I'm like,
Yeah.
why would
fitness gravitation test? They do that,
The like why would I don't fucking know. It would always surprise me. I'm like, how do you like have not normal, I don't know, bodies?
So
You hear
I
that?
mean, I had in middle school. I had like I guess kind of that weird-ish kid, but he was just a weird kid. Is all. He didn't have anything like extraordinary.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, ours didn't have
No
superpowers.
abilities.
Like I think every once in a while he would like do planks just out of nowhere. Like there was no reason he would do that, but he would just do it.
Oh my god, the guys in high school PE that would randomly just start doing push-ups for no reason.
Yeah.
Why? What do you gain from this? All right, like always
Gain
had
strength,
on a
Jack.
tank top no matter how cold it was.
You're king.
always had sunglasses, even if it was cloudy as hell that day. Literally,
I know exactly who you're talking about. Like I can
without fail.
picture the guy.
Not even like dressed in PE clothes. He would always put on like either rolled up the sleeves of his PE shirt or he just wore a tank top because he didn't care. And he always had sunglasses on.
Oh,
Always
that
doing
guy.
push-ups for
That
no reason.
dude?
Yes, that guy.
That guy
You
is-
know who I mean. You know
That's
who I
like
mean.
the-
I don't even
I-
remember
it's-
his name.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't want to like be mean and like talk to this kid. But I remember that guy. He would just like walk around like that too.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm like, why? Why do you do this?
I
But
couldn't tell you.
we had plenty of very weird kids in our class. We just didn't like. They didn't have superpowers like Jay's did. I think again that's a youth thing.
He
Yeah.
was sky high or something.
I don't know. He was just athletic for no reason. I was like, you're not the
Should
type
we-
of person who I would expect that from.
Should we go to bathrooms?
Oh God, yeah,
Sure.
that's a different
All right.
piece.
Hold
Let's
on.
do it.
Yeah.
Can I start this one? I got a good one.
Go ahead.
All right.
Good luck.
Oh, so middle school again. It's at lunch, and I just like gotta go to the bathroom or whatever. So I go in the bathroom, just open the stall, just go to like sit down, and then like I look in, and the toilet is filled with shit, toilet paper, and underwear.
Underwear?
So
Bro.
yeah, this kid shit himself, and then just decided to bail on all of it. So he was like, "I'm done. Fuck this." Got rid of everything. Okay. Like I saw that and I started laughing my ass off because I'm like, what happened here? Like,
That's so funny.
He just said abandoned ship.
I don't remember, but I think his pants were there, which is like so confusing.
In the toilet?
No, like I think the
Another
pants were
pair of
next to the
Oh.
toilet. I don't remember.
Oh my
I know
So
for a
did he,
fact
like,
the
run
underwear were
away?
in there. I don't know. Like
Can
my
you just
idea.
run away with like his cock and balls out?
What do you mean you just walk around school with no pants and no underwear?
I don't know. My idea was that he went in the locker room and got like PE shorts.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
Oh,
but I don't
leave
know.
your pants on just for that, or maybe you did. You just abandoned them.
Literally.
I
You
have
said this
no
is a
idea.
lost cause.
That's so funny. What
Yeah,
the
what do you have to do to
Oh
just
my
abandon
God.
shit
Boys'
like that?
bathrooms were
I
always good.
don't know.
Had to be like really bad.
That man must have some
Our
juicy-
high school bathrooms were like the worst cases of humanity. Like
Oh my
genuinely the
God.
worst.
Yeah.
Dude.
Do you remember when they had to shut down the bathrooms because people were writing on the walls in their own shit, drawing
Yeah.
swastikas
What?
and writing like anti-Semitic
What the
writing
What
on
the
the wall?
fuck?
I remember that
But
shit.
they had to shut
I remember-
down the locker room. Not the locker room. They had to shut down the bathrooms. They had surveillance waiting to see when they opened the back up. They had surveillance waiting for people to go in, and then if those shit on the walls, they would, and they never got them. They never got the bandit. They never got them. They never got them.
Yeah, I remember-
Faded away.
Oh my God, dude. I remember when that story like first came out, I guess. And my video production teacher, he was like talking to us, and he was like pissed. And he like got to the front of the class and he's like, "All right, guys, like this is serious. Like someone's been writing." He's like, "I'm not gonna censor myself." He's like, "Someone's been writing in shit on the walls." And it was like we couldn't laugh, but it was so funny. He's like I don't remember what the first one was. I don't remember what he wrote, but I know he smeared shit on the walls. But like he wanted us to make a VB segment about it.
Oh.
He was like, oh, that's a video bulletin, by the way. It's like student made videos that we show every week. And he's like, "I want someone to make a video about it, like talking about it, how it's not cool." And I'm like, how would we do that?
Yeah, that video is
what
gonna
would
be
that-
whack.
Yeah, what would
Literally.
that video consist
Have like the
of?
wacky like 80s transitions of the VB where it's like, don't write in shit on the wall.
It's just like a guy with like
Don't you do
brown
that.
on his thumb, like giving a thumbs up.
What was the reason? What was the
That would have been hilarious. Looking back, that would have been hilarious. No reason.
What was the
was no
reason for
motive.
it? Obviously,
There's
motive.
no
no
motive.
reason.
He's just a madman. Some men just want to watch the world burn. They have no motive.
And then there was also like just the thing that you would, Jack, remember the stuff like you would just do in the bathroom because we were angry? Like we had nothing better to do, so we would just like get paper towels wet and just chuck them on the ceiling and shit
Yeah.
for no
Wait,
reason.
I would do that too.
Oh, that happened
Why
in
did
my
we do
school
that?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did we do that? We just thought it was funny.
I don't know. It's
We
like
gained nothing from that.
There was no reason. We just thought it was like, oh, funny because we're making a fucking mess. There was no reason for it.
Jack, you know what a soap clap is? Do you guys know what soap claps are?
no.
Oh fuck. Okay, I've been doing this since 5th grade. Because in 5th grade, I had to go like this after school thing, and I would get bored, right? So we would go in the bathroom and you fill your hands with that like foamy soap, and then you just clap, and it goes everywhere, and it's so stupid. It's so
Oh.
funny. I've been doing that for like 7 years.
Oh my god, bro. No. I think the closest thing we got to that is like they'd wet the paper towels and they fold it a bunch of times so it's like a hard brick,
Oh my god.
and then they'd throw it at people's backs
Oh,
or the mirrors.
Cool.
And I was like, damn.
That's still fun.
And they were like,
Oh,
"Can I get a wet towelette?" That was our joke, and then they just threw a fucking like hard ass wet towel at the back or the back of your neck, like they'd slap it.
I remember going to the bathroom in class one time. Like I left class to go to the bathroom, and I walk in and I find the hand soap dispensers just like punched off the wall into the sinks. like they were in the sinks, like both of them. Someone just got pissed. And I remember hearing like afterwards, someone's like, "Oh yeah, somebody punched one off," and I was like, "Yeah, I found them. Like they were in there." So I guess someone got really
I
mad.
remember hearing about that. Somebody just fucking punched that shit off the wall. I remember finding like the weirdest things in the bathroom, specifically written on the wall. Like one time I went into a bathroom and I went in there and on the wall was like Nordic writing, like Norse writing. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's like, I look at it and like the post on Reddit, first of all, it's a Reddit post, so it's already snarky and condescending, where it's like, it's a fairly simple cipher. I'm like, shut the fuck, just tell me what it says, dude. Nobody asked you if you thought it was easy or not. And then he's like, well, it just says like dope fiend, dope friend. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it's like dope something, either dead or in jail is where you'll end up. I'm like, dude,
What the fuck?
you spent all of that time just to write to somebody who A, is either going to be high and is not going to understand, or B, just does not care what you say. Like that's what
It
you
might be
spent
doing a
your time
curse.
making a cipher for. Like it might be a curse. I don't know. That
Yeah.
might be like swearing vengeance or some shit. I don't know. But I just looked at it and I was like, did not expect to see that today. Okay. And it was like that like all the time. There's always some weird shit written on the walls that no matter how many times they scribble away, it always gets like rewritten or like something new.
Yeah.
Wait, did y'all ever lock your friends in the boys' bathroom?
I never did.
I kind of did.
No, we wouldn't lock.
I
You
kinda
could do
We
that?
would block the door. We would block the door.
Yeah, we would block the door.
We would lean up against the
Okay.
door and
Cool.
like, block it so they couldn't.
Yeah, and like you would okay, so they would pee, right? They'd pee, and then you turn off the lights, and then you close the door. Like I love doing
You
that,
demon.
but
You hell spawn.
it was to the
It
point
was
where like
terrible.
this one kid had to puke. He was our friend. He had to puke, so he went to the toilet. And while he was doing that, we turned off the lights and we closed. And then
Oh.
and then he was gone for like 40
Oh my
minutes, and then my friends and I were
God.
like, what happened? Is he okay? And we kind of just guessed he was in the bathroom
Died.
for a while. Die.
You stood guarding the
He
door for
died.
40 minutes?
No, the door was locked. We were like in
Oh,
class.
you locked the door.
You can lock the door from the
Jesus Christ.
outside. from where you're from?
Kinda, not really, but like,
That seems like
You
a
can open it.
terrible design idea.
oh no. We were like, is he okay? And then we found him like walking outside earlier, like chilling. I was like, okay, I guess he didn't care. But he j- yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I
Wait,
remember
Sean, do you want to tell the milk story, or I feel like you were the milk story,
Which
the
milk story?
leftover break.
the left.
Like somebody had put milk. I don't remember who. I think it was yet again the same people that were involved in the soup story.
Was it the milk in the
Oh.
bathroom?
It was different. It was the milk in the bathroom that it was left over like spring break, so it's
Yeah.
hot as hell. And then
Yeah, I remember
and,
who
then-
did it.
and it was like boiled. It was hella rotten.
Ew.
It was
I
so
didn't see it. I just
disgusting.
remember it happening. Because he did that to a different. He did that in like a different class too, like a similar thing. Like
There were multiple
He-
notes. I didn't even know that.
I think he did. I think I'm not sure. Again, like don't. This isn't 100% true. I think he threw a bag of milk in a ceiling. Like
A
there was
bag
like
of
an
milk?
open like yeah, like he put it in a bag so that he could throw it up
Oh dang.
in like like the in like the labs. There's like those tile like things you can kind of push up on the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
he pushed
God.
one up and put it up there. I think I'm
Oh
not sure.
my god.
But Jack, you know who this guy is, and you know he's not very reliable.
Oh.
So
Oh,
Oh
in,
no,
in the
no,
rest
yeah.
in the restroom.
Oh my God.
It was like I don't know, some time in January, but this kid printed out like a shadow, like the hedgehog.
No, this is
Shadow the
good.
Hedgehog. And then
The
and
nice
then
cock
it was like
picture.
a meme, and then it was like nice cock you have there, and they put it on top of the urinal. So whenever you'd pee there, like
Love it.
you just see shadow like a piece of paper. I was like,
Nice cock.
that's my
great.
favorite.
I
That
love
was my
it.
favorite urinal to go to.
There was
Oh my God.
there was a lemon tree. I think you know where this is going, but there was
Oh God.
there was a lemon tree that overhung into the school that you could get to. It was in someone's backyard, and if you jumped up, you could pick the lemons off of it. So one time, the same people that did the soup grabbed some lemons off there, went to the bathroom, and then so you know how on the urinal there's the white part and then there's the like silver part that's up here that has like the thing you flush it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took the lemons and they jammed them into it, like they stuffed it onto the
What the-
front part, so that it was like stuck on there, and they did it to all the urinals in there, and it smelled nice, but like it was really fucking weird. And then they just like left it. I don't remember for how long, but I feel bad for the poor janitor that had to fucking find that shit.
Yeah.
What about like all the stuff we've been talking about the poor janitor?
Yeah. Imagine the
Good
shit on the
point, yeah.
wall.
Wait, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
This is not directly a bathroom story, but it is a middle school. Do you want to talk about our vice principal feud? We will not mention him by name, but he was mentioned. Do you want to talk about our
Poor
feud?
fucker.
I would love to talk about this.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not really. It doesn't really fit, but who cares?
Oh, I don't really care. It's just something that only like middle school boys would think to do, because it's so like needlessly cruel but also harmless at the same time.
Dude did not deserve it, dude. You want to start or you want me to start?
Okay, so let me explain. So our starting year, 6th grade, we had this new vice principal. I'm not gonna say his name, but I
Just
love
call
it.
him like. Just give like a letter. Just like give him a letter or something.
Let's say Mr. M. Mr. M.
Mhm.
Okay.
So Mr. M was our new vice principal, and he got off to a bad start because he like would give kids detentions for like no reason. He would like do all this
Wow.
shit that like made people not like this guy at all. So in like 7th grade, I think it was. Sean, be sure to back me up with like facts if I ever say some shit that's wrong. But I think it was 7th grade where it started out with a group of boys making an Instagram account for him, for Mr. M. It said like Mr. M official or something. And it would post like pictures of him that were publicly available through like our school district's like website and be like, I'm happy to help my students. And like they started posting like starter pack memes about him. So like the guy, this is so terrible. This is so horrible. But the guy was like, he was like a redhead, and people, or like he had like very like orangish red hair. So people made like starter packs for him where like it had like a walkie-talkie, like his notepad, and just the color orange, like just the color orange. And people started saying, he attacked, most importantly, he Lorac, and putting him over the Lorax. It just got worse and worse. where more and more accounts were being made and more memes were being spread around about this poor fucking guy. And it ended like, I think the climax was somebody had gone to school and had taken a can of like red spray paint and had written on the walls near like the track, fuck his full name. We never said Mr. M, by the way. We said like his full name. We said first and last name, and somebody had written his first and last name on the wall.
This was massive, by the way. This took up like the whole wall. This was not small.
It was not like a small thing. It was fucking
And
huge.
that sentence, that F and then that guy's name, was also at AMPM. Someone put it on the wall over there. Like smaller, but still. People fucking hated this guy. It was so unnecessary.
It was so he did not deserve all of that. And like, I remember we found it like in the morning, and I took a video of this kid that I knew that moved. He took a video. I wish I could find the video. Like 7th grade thing. He took a video of him Fortnite dancing in front of it. It was like. It was so bizarre because like, what? How does this even happen? How does it get this far? And like, they started cracking down on it too. And I don't know if it was a coincidence, but he left the year that we left. He was gone. He quit. We bullied this man out of his job. It was terrible.
The kids that made the meme accounts got suspended and got like community service.
Oh,
and then they never found out who spray painted it.
They never did. They never found the original person. And
it's beautiful.
I think it should stay that way. It's a legend. It's a.
Dude, I still only think of him in his full name. I can't even like.
I can't say Mr. It feels so weird to say Mr. M. I can't even think of like his actual like full like name with Mr. in front of it. I just think of his first and last name. I can't think of him any other way because of that. It's fully cemented in my memory. Oh my god, that was so cruel and like mean, but it was so funny. Like it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like,
it was so funny.
Like all the meme accounts were so mean to this man. Like, they would all say the most weird
wonder if any of
shit.
them are still up.
Oh my god. It was
I'm checking.
Oh my god. Oh wait, are they still up? Please tell me.
I'm checking. I don't think they are.
They would probably have gotten removed.
Nah, they're all deleted.
Something, but if man, the starter pack ones especially were always really funny. Like they were so mean to him, but they were all funny.
He called me into the office one time for a different thing. And I had to like explain this like fucked up story to him that I'm not gonna tell on here. But I'd like explain this like fucked up ass story to him, like to explain myself, and like it was so fucking awkward because like it was like things you don't want to talk about to your vice principal about. So I'd like talk to him about like this shit, and then like it was just weird, and like he gives off weird energy.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, if you guys have ever, I know Sean's seen it, but if you've ever seen The Social Network, or if you even look it up, Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg. Actually, no, he looks like actual Mark Zuckerberg. If you give him like orangish rare, like just put Mark Zuckerberg with that basically looks like him. And it's kind of, why did I just realize that? Wait, that's so accurate. Wait, what the hell? What the hell? Wait, that makes so much sense, actually. Yeah. Ooh, that would have been a good starter pack. That would have been a starter pack.
Don't even.
We should bring him back.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to remember if there was anything. Okay. Another bathroom story was one time I was in PE and I went to the bathroom, or I walked out to go to the bathroom because I needed to pee or whatever. And I walked in and I just see the whole bathroom just flooded with urine. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to the bathroom today.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that sucks, I guess.
All the time.
Like, either there's no paper towels. Like, we'd always run out of paper towels.
Because they'd always get thrown.
And it was so stupid.
Do you remember
do you remember
our middle school was janky. Well, yeah, go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, do you remember the routine sewage
That's literally exactly what I was going to talk about. Yeah, there was always like outside of the
was like once
boys'
a week.
locker room specifically, there was always like, because like the sewage ran under and there was like a cover for it, and it would flood like every few days. Like it
Yeah.
seemed like every few days there was like flooded where like there was sewage water everywhere, and it was so disgusting. It smelled
And we would just
like death.
have to like eat lunch next to it because it was like out in the open, and like
Yeah,
it was right near the
next
lunch
to the
table. So we were just like,
tables.
okay, I guess.
It was near where everybody sat.
It was so fucking weird, and we just like dealt with it. Yeah, it just smelled bad all the time. It wasn't like hunks of shit or anything. It was just like this liquid that would just like be there, and like everyone just kind of collectively agreed, like, yeah, okay, and like that was it. Like we weren't like, oh, the sewage is back. It was just like, oh yeah, okay. We didn't think it was gross. We just agreed that it was normal.
Yeah, and it would always like bake in the sun. So it was like when it was warmer, it would be like sticking on the floor and like eventually evaporate. Like, it was terrible. It was terrible. Looking back on it, it was really gross. We just kind of accepted it as reality.
Well, dude, because we did the grossest things possible in middle school, dude.
Yeah.
Do you remember like the stuff we would eat at lunch?
Yeah, the person who is mainly involved in most of these stories, you'll see there's a common thread. It's usually the same.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Just
Mostly elementary school.
You're just
But
such
you
a
could
human being.
You could give him any combination of food and he'd eat it.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. You could give him like it was literally anything and he'd eat it. And it was so gross, dude. He just didn't care.
Do you remember when we came around with like other people? I wasn't with the person. Well, I wasn't with them at the time. I was with other people, but we came around with like a water bottle and that we had found, and it was filled with the most vile shit possible. Like it was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Like it had like
I do remember that.
we were like, yo, because it smelled like death. I like crawled in there and shit themselves and then died.
Dude, I remember who you were with. I'm not gonna say their name, but I remember it was you and one other guy just like walking around showing everybody that.
No, we didn't just show people. We said, yo, smell this real quick. Smell this. I can't get with the smell it. And then at the end of the school day, we were like, fuck it, we might as well. And we like capped it. And then we went, because like our high school had like multiple stories and like they're open balconies, so you could see it very clearly. So we went at the very end near like the bus stop and just took it and chucked it down on the ground. It wasn't like the hard ground. It was like on near like the bushes, so it was like turf or something. I don't remember what it's called, but like wasn't solid like concrete, but it just fucking exploded everywhere. And it smelled like I'm remembering the smell now, and I might gag. It was such a vile smell. I don't know why we did it.
It just, the smell exploded and went all the way up there instantly, man.
It didn't. It was like a stink bomb, but like if Satan had made one. But if Satan had made a stink bomb, it'd be the worst thing possible.
I remember another thing related to like stenches. That was so much of middle school was just stenches. There was a time where he who will remain nameless, and some others made a different soup because they would do this a lot. Like the one in the buck room was the longest one, but this was a routine thing they would do.
Common.
And they made the grossest one they made was a bunch of food, and then one guy pissed in it. And then they just threw it away.
Ew.
But they made a different one, and they did the soup and shit, and then they threw it on me. And it was
really?
on my pants. Yeah. It was all over my pants. And this was at lunch, so I still had 3 periods. So I am covered in this disgusting, it was like a bunch of mayo and like mustard and every condiment mixed with like spit. I don't remember. It was
Chick-fil-A sauce.
It was so gross. And so I had that on me. So I go in the bathroom and I'm like, I cover it in soap and I'm like rinsing it out, trying to like get this shit out of my pants, and it just doesn't come out. And then I go to my next class and I'm like sitting with like my like normally you sit with both your legs under the desk.
Yeah.
I had the one leg covered in shit, like as far away from the person I'm sitting next to as possible, so they couldn't smell it. And then I like go up to my teacher. I'm like, man, someone threw some stuff on me at lunch. Can I go to the bathroom and clean it up? And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So I go and I'm trying to clean it up still. It still doesn't come out. So now it looks like I pissed myself because my leg is just covered in this like in just water. And I had to just go back into class and just like do history. I just like do that. I remember. I think after that class, I went to the locker room and changed my PE shorts. But it was so fucking gross, and it like stuck to my leg. I think I just threw the pants away. That
Oh,
shit would not get
There's
out.
no
Dude.
saving those. There's
Dude,
no
that
saving
sucks.
those.
it
Just
was
one day people just throw some cursed stuff on you, and now you lose your pants.
It was so gross, dude.
Damn.
I'm still mad at that guy. But like, we're still friends. But like, and then he pantsed me in that year too.
bro.
Oh my
It's
god!
not even
Wait, how have
funny,
we not
it's like-
talked about pantsing yet? Wait, how have we not talked about
That
that's like a
doesn't
big
happen that
part
much.
of dude culture. Oh my
Yeah,
god!
it's pretty stupid. We did that a lot in the locker room.
Oh my! Always in like, always in the locker room. There was either like the most common occurrences were either disgusting shit being thrown, axe bombs, or like people being pantsed. Like that's just the most common
Yeah.
things to happen.
Yeah.
Like
An axe
there was
bomb lit off the fire alarm one time.
What the?
Yeah,
so for
we
those
all had to
listening
like
that don't-
evacuate.
Oh no. So for those of you listening, I'm not sure if this is actually like a common thing or not, but for those of you that don't know what an axe bomb is essentially where somebody, basically always a guy, because we're fucking dumb like that, takes like a can of like spray X and takes like tape or something to tie it around the trigger, tapes it down so that's going off, and rolls it into like a room, usually like the locker room or classroom, and it just sprays that awful smelling shit everywhere. Like it's all over the place. And it is one of the best middle school inventions I've ever seen in my life. It's
It's
such
hilarious.
a fucking amazing invention. I don't
It's
know
so
who
gross.
came up with that, but it's devious. It's devious.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
Pretty
school
sure.
what?
No, you go. Yeah.
Oh, my school like never allowed for like air spray kind of deodorants. But
Smart.
I think my friend did like she told you, but like it was like an instance where like it was history and then they just set off an axe bomb. But like I've never smelled what axe is. Like I don't know what it smells like. Is it like minty? Is it manly
It's-
smell?
do you know
It
what
just
like
smells
deodorant
like-
smells like? Yeah, go
It
ahead.
just smells like deep, if that makes sense. Like just kind of permeates into like strong, bad. But
Doesn't-
there's so much of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't really have much of a. It smells like deodorant, but not scented. It just smells like chemical. Usually,
You put deodorant
Like,
and
even if-
cologne in a pot and mix it.
yeah, it doesn't
Ooh.
really have much of a smell besides like, oh, that smells fucking terrible. Like it doesn't have like a distinct like, oh, that's palm trees. No. Even if like I don't even know if they have like scented axe or anything, but even if it does have a scent, you don't smell it. It just smells like axe.
But you can tell it's axe specifically.
Yeah,
Once you
you can
smell it.
tell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's always axe is very distinct with how terrible it smells.
So for me in my middle school, I think I had a few like axe bombs in the locker room, but also just the same amount were like cologne bombs or whatever. Because like it didn't smell like axe, it smelled like cologne. But it was a lot and it also smelled bad.
Why and like why would they just put on cologne or like deodorant and call it a day without taking a shower? Is
So
that
gross.
They always just put on axe, no shower, just axe.
and they would
Oh,
that's so gross.
middle school boys are foul, disgusting creatures.
They're the weakest
Um,
link, but terrifying.
Actually.
Mhm. All history's leaders, many of them have once been, all of them have once been middle school boys, and that's hellish. Every president has
And-
once been
oh.
a middle school boy.
Oh my god. George Washington was out there in his classroom throwing the ye old fucking axe bombs in there.
Oh my god, dude.
Sean, before we go, do you want to talk about the backpack flipping? Or
Wait,
do you want
wait.
to talk about that before you have
So
to
is
go?
that there's two kinds of backpack flipping I could think of. So is it the one where you do it when someone leaves to go to the bathroom and you take everything out of their backpack and turn it inside out?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
that's what
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. Because I
I
learned
had that happen to
from
me.
Oh,
I
shit.
learned that in high school because of the substitute that we had. He never had like a mister. He just had his name. We'll call him T. You'll know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about, Sean. Because
T.
Wait, you
But
call
he
him
like
what?
as soon as this girl like he was just he didn't have a mystery. It was just a sub. Let's
Oh,
call
I
him
know what
T.
you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Okay.
And he
That fucking guy.
he like this girl was on her phone in like biology the entire class. So as soon as she left to go to the bathroom, he was like, "Hey guys, do you want to know what I did in high school that I think would be really funny?" I was like, "What?" And he's like, "So we used to take people's backpacks, dump everything out of them, flip it inside out, put everything back in, and zip it back up, and see how long it takes them to notice." And we're like, "Oh my god, that's genius! Let's do it!" And he was looking over our shoulder because he gave no fucks. That guy was amazing. But he was like, quickly, dump it out. As we took her backpack, basically nothing in it because of course. And then we dumped it all out, flipped it inside out really quick. He's like, go, 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 go. He's like, I can't physically help you because I will get fired, but I could do this. Just put it in. We stuff all of our shit and then we zip it back up. It's very obvious that it's inside out, right? Like it's a completely different color. It looks like a
Yeah.
pinkish brown. And then we put it back down, no straps or anything. It takes her until the end of class to figure it out. And she's like, what happened to my backpack? And we timed it. It took like 26 minutes or something. And we timed it. And I just kept looking at the sub. I'm like, is she going to do it? He's like, kept shrugging his shoulders. He's like, I don't know. And
Oh my god.
oh my God, it might be one of the funniest things I've ever learned in my entire life.
That sounds like a
it's
wonderful sub.
so-
That guy was
It's so
amazing.
that guy
He was like
Hilarious.
20. He was like 20
Yeah, he
years
was
old.
like a 20-year-old. He
Yeah.
gave no shit.
And he was a sub. What the fuck?
Yeah. He
yeah.
was a sub for 1 year.
Yeah, he's a sub for what? He was a sub for, I think he was 2.
2 years,
I know
yeah.
my sister mentioned him. Yeah, I think it was 2. Yeah. I think the district and him, like, either they fired him outright or they had, like, a disagreement or something. Because I remember he had a YouTube channel he posted that, like, they had a disagreement. And I was like, oh, man, I
Oh,
really wanted to
man.
see him again. That sucks. But I think he
Mhm.
didn't he become, like, a Twitch streamer?
Yeah, he streamed.
Yeah,
He
I
streamed
don't-
while
What the
he was a
fuck?
I
sub.
couldn't remember his name. Like,
That's cool. That's kind of cool.
yeah, he streamed, like, I think he streamed, like, League or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that guy was hella cool.
Goes the homie.
Yep. He was one of the good ones.
Anyways, that's all we have for this episode. Thanks for our guests for joining us. Talk about random ass
Yeah,
shit
thanks,
guys
bro.
do. Horrid. I feel like
being bros.
yeah, it's just like the stages in life that you go through. Is just the boys' locker room and the boys' restroom. Whatever happens in there kind of just stays there too. But
Yeah.
that's all we got for this
Until
episode.
now.
Yo, stay tuned for next week. We're gonna
Yep.
have
Thank you
another
for joining
one.
us.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Okay,
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
say
next week,
bye.
then I'll go back.
Bye.
All right.
See ya.
Yeah, see ya.
All right. Thank you for joining us today on Sincerely Strangers. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at Sincerely Strangers. Sorry this episode was a little bit late. I am an idiot and didn't edit it in time, but we're going to make sure that that does not happen in the future. And be sure to tune in next week, which by now will most likely be in a few days, next Wednesday, where we'll have an all-girls episode of Morgan, Hillary, and a few of their guests. And thank you for listening. You have a good day.